What's going on? Dylan Conrad, Metabolic AF. Today I'm going to talk to you about intermittent fasting for women. Should you be doing it? Before I get to that, if you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, turn notifications on Spotify, iTunes, hit that bell button, leave a review. All helps the algorithm. Helps me help more people like you. So let's get into it. Intermittent fasting, I talked about this on the last podcast I just did about time-saving techniques, how to lose 15 plus pounds while getting 7 plus hours back in your day. And so for intermittent fasting, it's something I've done on and off personally. Now, obviously, I'm a man. It's very different for women. But for me, from a entrepreneurial standpoint, I work 60-hour weeks. I have 2 newborns. It's crazy. Like, the time I can get back is going to be key. But should women be doing this? Because a lot of times there's a lot of controversy on whether women should be doing intermittent fasting or not. A lot of women have been reported to lose their period, to hit quick plateaus. It's just not to be good for their health. Now, what is intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting is time-restricted eating. So typically you're fasting for 20 hours or 18 hours or 16 hours. So for example, if you're doing a 20-hour fast, you would have an eating window of 4 hours. So you could start eating at 6 p.m. and then finish eating at 10 p.m. And so from a control standpoint and a time standpoint, it makes a lot of sense because you're eating 1 or 2 meals. Each meal you eat, the average American takes about 20 to 40 minutes, like I said the other day. But from a fat loss perspective, there's no magic pill. I'm going to repeat this a million times, maybe indirectly with inflammation and effects on cortisol, which I'm going to get into in a second, but no direct fat loss just by doing intermittent fasting itself. And that's why all women who are doing intermittent fasting need to be doing macros. So I call it my fasting macro method. And so inflammation standpoint, every time you eat, your body's going to inflame. Every time your body's inflamed, physiological processes that are responsible for your metabolism, your hormones, all that stuff, they're going to be disrupted, right? So those directly impact your metabolism and your ability to build muscle and stuff like that. So yeah, indirectly you will have a small impact, right? Also the effects on cortisol every time you eat, same thing. Fasting does, in a lot of cases and a lot of research from what I've seen, it does help regulate your cortisol while you're fasted in that fasting window. So it does allow you to, they call it cortisol belly for a reason, stress belly. Anytime you have high cortisol or dysregulated cortisol, low cortisol, you're going to be storing more body fat. It's going to be decreasing your metabolism. It's going to increase your propensity to store body fat, stuff like that. So from a cognitive performance standpoint, intermittent fasting is fantastic. Again, inflammation every time you eat, and it also does take energy every time you eat to process that. So it's energy going away from your brain and to processing food. From my experience too, and a lot of my clients that I have on it, they are very mentally sharp and clear, and they can get a lot of stuff done. So for busy professional women, if you're listening to this yourself, this is great. This is like a huge benefit. You'll be flying, especially if you use caffeine with that in that fasted window as well. Again, it's not a magic pill, right? I talked about yesterday, if you took the same amount of calories and macros one day and fasted, the other day, same calories and macros, but you ate them evenly throughout the day, you would see the same exact results. There may be a little bit in between the inflammation and the cortisol perspective, but not enough to be like, oh my God, I need to do this. I'm seeing amazing results. The big thing, and I mentioned this the other day, is women typically undereat during intermittent fasting. So you need to make sure that you're tracking your macros so you are in a very soft deficit, because if you're in a large deficit, more than 500 calories, you are going to down-regulate your metabolism massively, right? A lot of women just end up just eating 1 meal or 2 meals, and they'll be 500-700 calories, and they'll come into our program and be like, dude, what are you doing? We need to reverse diet you ASAP, build your metabolism up by eating more food. It's the same thing with Ozempic. Ozempic users, they come into our program, they're eating 800, 500 calories, and they're not losing any body fat. They need to build back up their metabolism. So same thing with intermittent fasting. If you're doing it, you need to be tracking macros, because there is a specific amount of protein, carbohydrates, and fats for each specific female physiology that's going to be best for you losing 1 to 3 pounds of fat per week and not down-regulating your metabolism and not losing any weight or even gaining weight, right? So make sure you are tracking your macros. If you need my reverse dieting guide, I just mentioned you're eating nothing, and basically if you're eating less than 1,200 calories and not losing any fat, you need to hop on a reverse diet ASAP. You can DM me on Instagram at Dylan A. Conrad, and I'll get that to you ASAP, my reverse dieting matrix. If you are new to macros and you don't really know how to track your food, I just made a free guide. You could DM me. I don't even know what I'm going to call this yet in terms of the DMs, but just so I know what to send you. DM me food tracker, and I'll send you the free food tracking guide if you're not really sure how to do macros, you're new to it, you don't know how to track food, all that stuff. Anyways, love y'all. Enjoy the rest of your day, and happy whatever day you're listening to this or watching this on.